I was talking to Colin and I was like, dude, there, by the grace of God, did you and I not get a TV show in the mid-2000s in Vancouver, we would have been drawn into Nexium. Hi, guys. Hi, everybody. Shantira's already giggling over there in her cute little house.
We have fun.
We have fun. We have fun. Only hopped on here about 2 minutes before I started this, but we're already giggling. Hi, everybody. It's me, Vizzy Phillips. Welcome to this week's edition of Vizzy Phillips is Doing Her Best. Shantira Jackson, Caissie St. Ange.
Hi.
Me. So rare that I don't say Caissie St. Ange. Do you notice that I do that?
Yeah. I'm a firstie lastie. It's like a very performative, like everyone does their French accent when
It's
they,
it's just like a good last name that's like doesn't sound straight up American and we can pronounce it. Like I really like that. And then our friend Chelsea Devantez.
Yes,
Chelsea Devantez.
That's a good name. God damn.
It just feels good to say it.
Yeah,
but I gotta say, Shantira Jackson, Vizzy Phillips, pretty boring.
Yeah,
Jackson
it's just like
and Phillips.
I like them though. They both have like really just percussive feeling.
Yeah.
Like it feels good to say Shantira Jackson, Vizzy Phillips.
I like our names busy because we're the only ones. I'm the
We
only
are the only
Shantira
ones.
Jackson and you're the only Busy Phillips. But St. Ong, Devantez, come on, baby. Come on. Let's not get crazy. Jackson, Devantez, let's go.
Come on. I just have to say, though, the one thing that's super annoying about my last name is how everyone spells it incorrectly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
1 L, 2 P's is correct.
one out. Thank you, Shantira. You're a true friend and a scholar, and someone who pays attention.
It's very hard because people have muscle memory and there's a very common way to spell Phillips and your name is not the common way. But the thing that annoys me as someone with an unusual name, and I'm sure Shantira can agree, is that usually when people misspell your name, it's in response to an email where your name is right there.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if you can't even be bothered to like look up 1 inch to see how the name is spelled, then, I do take it a teeny bit personally.
People mispronounce my name all the time, and it's really annoying because it's they give up reading the end. I get called Shanitra so often, and
Good Lord.
it's Tira, and it's like they flip it and go Nitra, and it's like you had to read 8 letters and you gave up 5 N.
Yeah, yeah, and it's just like. Everybody mispronounces something, but like it's someone's name and it's personal to them. So just take the extra second. I always, on a TV show, I will always flat out ask, Charlize Theron,
How do you like to say your name?
to have your name pronounced? Because I've heard it a number of different ways. Even though she's super famous, I always take it like, I bet she'd rather I ask her right here and now, just between the two of us, than to have someone say it out loud on television.
First of all, because you guys were on Busy tonight, you know how bad I am at pronouncing some names. Like sometimes I have like certain mental blocks on certain names, and it's not that I'm disrespectful of the person or I don't like them. I swear to God, sometimes my brain does not wrap it around. Case in point, Shannon Doherty.
Is that
Doherty?
it?
Shannon Doherty. Oh my! See, you guys, I'm really not trying. I'm really not trying to like
I
mess
think
it
it's
up.
Shannon Doherty.
Doherty.
It's like Doherty.
Shannon Doherty, who I love. Follow on Instagram. Have followed her journey. I'm a fan. Anyway. Can't say her name. I have a problem with Megan Mullally.
Oh, Megan Mullally.
Did I just say it right?
You did.
so.
That's right. That's right.
What? And we're friends, and that's embarrassing. But also, Caissie, what you just said reminded me of the year that I attended the Golden Globes with Michelle Williams, and Gwyneth Paltrow came out to give the Lifetime Achievement Award to, and this is how she pronounced it, Anthony Hopkins. And I think that's a really good Gwyneth Paltrow impression if you want to play it back. But I was floored that it was Anthony, not Anthony.
Is that it? Is that?
I don't know. he didn't get booked on Busy tonight, so Caissie couldn't ask him.
Anthony Hopkins, if you are listening, please inform us. I bet Gwyneth found out.
She had worked with him. They had done some
she
movie.
Would know.
So I felt like she was, but then also like maybe she just likes to pronounce things, the Italian way or the whatever way. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Is he like a sir? Is he like a knight?
Sir Anthony Hopkins.
I wouldn't be surprised that she just looked up what the queen said and went.
There you go.
That's what I would do.
Just Google what the queen said.
I would Google what the queen said.
WWQD. What would queen do?
My grandfather was a serviceman and they lived all over the world. My dad grew up all over the world. And when they lived in England, my grandfather got in trouble several times you used to just go into a grocery and order up what you wanted and they would pick it for you and deliver it to you. And he would always, whenever they would say, what grade of toilet tissue would you like? He'd always say, just give me what the queen uses.
That's not bad. That makes sense.
But in the 1960s, there was a lot of apron clutching.
I mean, yeah, I could see that. That would be like blasphemous, right?
To this day, I don't want anybody in the UK coming for me, but I want what the queen used. I'm gonna be real.
Yeah, me too.
That's the least America can do for me.
Don't you hate it when you go into a friend's house and then they have the like cheap one ply TP and you're like, oh no.
No, it's annoying. I also one time I accidentally bought the wrong kind. It was on sale and I was like, Charmin, let's go, baby. And then I opened it when I got home and I was like, this is the emergency toilet paper. I put it in the closet and I was like, if I'm gonna go get the good stuff later, and if something happens and I forget, we will have these in here for hard times, midnight. You don't know that you ran out. But sometimes it'd be like that. Maybe they knew you were coming over and they were like, shit, the last roll.
But anyone who knows me knows that my IBS is my leading characteristic. And
I was gonna say, I
need some soft tissue or
you're right.
I just need something,
Yeah.
Speaking of which, let's see, what am I doing my best at this week? I don't know. It's been a weird week. It's felt so apocalyptic here in Los Angeles and really kind of scary because of the fires and the extreme heat, and our air conditioning decided to stop working. We have an upstairs, downstairs, not like the British TV show, but the kid, we have bedrooms upstairs, but our master bedroom is downstairs, and the downstairs air went out. And it was real hot on the hottest day. It went out.
It was 120, 117 or something like that.
It broke records. It was record-breaking heat this week. So I guess global warming is doing its best this week, question mark?
Yeah, she mad.
She's not happy.
Very high achieving week for global climate change.
But I feel like I was impressed with that I didn't lose my shit. I did not lose my shit during the great air conditioning outage of the pandemic heat wave. And instead, I just was like, I'm rolling with this, and it just is what it is. And I hosed myself off outside.
Sometimes it'd be like that, man. It just be hot.
It was too hot, and I have to say, it was a cold hose, and then I felt so much better. I was like, wow, that really worked out. Birdie had a nice weekend. She's back at school. Cricket starts tomorrow. I thought it was today, and I was getting all ready, and then I was like, oh, it's not till tomorrow. I have an extra day. I went to Target for the first time since the pandemic.
Exciting.
Yes.
It was scary. I felt scared.
Yeah.
I went to Marshall's for the first time.
And
Marshall's.
What'd you get?
I spent $300. I went early in the morning because y'all know I've been baking. I went early in the morning, and then I was like, I just want to get some pants. And I went.
Shantira, call me. I'm essentially a Marshall's.
I went, but here's the thing: I needed to go in and look and hold, and I just went in. And I got some pans and some other shit that I was not on the list, but it needed to be done. See, it's been 6 months since I've been to Marshall's.
I know.
So the $300 was the equivalent to $50 every time I would go to Marshall's in the 6 months.
Let's just be honest, Shantira. The podcast is going well. Someday we're going to make money off of it. But also
not today.
But not today. But someday it will happen, guys. I feel certain. click subscribe, download. Okay. But Shantira, you got a new job, and I'm a firm believer in rewarding yourself when you get a new job. Doing something nice for yourself. And I'm happy that you celebrated your new job writing for Amber at Marshall's.
I went to Marshall's and it was the best thing ever. What I'm doing my best at though, cord management.
Cord management is so sexy.
Cord management. I'll send you a picture, Vizzy. I do not listen to men. I think they're wrong most of the time.
Yeah.
But the only time I listen to a man is minimalism and tech YouTube videos. Because it's like some dude named Tyler being like, I bought 17 LG monitors and I'm going to tell you which one's good. And I'm like, I'll listen to Tyler. So I got a new monitor for work.
Nice.
And I got Velcro. I know, Vizzy, you might really like this. I got Velcro to stick the cords underneath my desk.
I'm fanning myself right now.
I have Velcro.
Okay, I got Velcro. I got a pegboard from IKEA, and I put all the cords on the wall. Yep. So this week I went whole hog, listened to Tyler and this other kid named Justin from Canada, and I did cord management this weekend.
I love it.
I feel great about it.
I love
it. You've never been hotter to me.
Shantira. Caissie, anything?
Yeah, I'm not doing my best this week. I got my period. It's my 6th core pier.
I lost track.
Yeah,
I'm sick of them.
And because, I'm assuming it's all your 6th too since March.
I'm sick of this.
And because a core pier always summons the most chaotic energy, the end of my sofa fell off. Like not even like just a little broken, like a lot broken. Like the whole end of my cheap sofa fell off. So then we decided, you know what? It's time. We're grown-ups. It's time to be adult and go to an adult furniture store. So we masked up and we went to the most old-fashioned ass furniture store where they sell real furniture that you don't take home in a box. And every fucking sofa was white. And so I can't try out a sofa in the middle of 5th core pier when I'm having Maroon 5.
No, we've talked about this. No, because that's exactly when it would happen. That is the moment it would happen. You'd just be like,
boop. I have to buy a sofa that I was just trying out because
you would buy the sofa. I'm gonna be real. I would get up and I would walk out immediately.
You guys, did I ever tell you about when I had an IBS attack when I was test driving cars at this like small dealership?
Oh no!
And I had this like horrible. I was like 22 years old, and so I was real embarrassed. And it was like this small dealership because they had like the color and the make, like they had the one I wanted, right? But I was like, oh no, it hit me, and when it hit me. Like now I'm so much better these days, but when it used to hit me, it was like, oh my God, the worst. And I get the IBS with diarrhea, not constipation. Some people get the other one. Okay, so anyway, I go into their like one bathroom in this small dealership. I'm like, I mean, there's no stopping this. This is like, I have to. You guys, it doesn't flush. It was broken. And so then I like lifted the lid off. Tried to do the thing.
You tried to do plumbing.
100%. And then it started overflowing. And you guys, I ran.
You have
of course.
Ran.
Yeah. Girl,
ran out.
That's on that
in my car. Drove away. Never looked back.
You know what I'm going to say? I thought where you were going is that you were going to say you pooped a car.
Yeah, I thought you were going to poop a car. So that's way better.
Oh, I didn't poop in the car. Although I do have a friend who shall remain nameless, who one time got an attack of like food poisoning while they were driving home, like a distance. Like they had gone to one side of Los Angeles to meet friends and then they were driving home. And they fully pulled over on the side of the road in like some neighborhood and like pooped in the gutter.
Yeah. Sometimes it be like that.
It happens.
They were just like,
one of my friend's ex-boyfriends pooped a trampoline. He pooped a trampoline.
No. As somebody who trampolines every day. Oh, no.
He was outside with his friends, and he was jumping, and he thought he could make it, and he pooped the trampoline, y'all. So
he thought it was a fart. That was like a... You guys, what are we devolving into? I'm so sorry, everybody.
When you think about it, there are so many more... everybody has pooped their pants, but there are so many more things to poop. When you really
I had no
it.
idea. I mean, a trampoline is like next level.
It's so much pressure So he pooped the trampoline.
We'll just run through real quick because there's lots of people that were doing their best this week, and I want to talk about all of them. But you know who's not doing their best and whose time has certainly come to an end, and we were fighting for this on Busy tonight. It was almost like the show's mission statement was to put an end to gender reveal parties, and now this gender reveal party sparked the California wildfire closest to LA, and
because
guys,
of like an explosive device that
it was a smoke machine. I guess it was supposed to
Smoke
be blue
bomb.
or a smoke that was the color that associated with the construct of gender, and 7,000 acres are burning.
7,000
because
acres.
of
By
a
the way,
construct.
I was reading this morning, I was remembering, I know there have been several alligator reveal, gender reveal party disasters.
There have been because we talked about them on our show.
But this isn't even the first fucking wildfire sparked by a gender reveal party. There was another one that burned 47,000 acres.
You guys, get your heads out of your fucking asses and stop doing this bullshit. You don't need a gender reveal party. You don't need to like celebrate the fact that you're having something. Like, just have a baby shower if you need a baby shower.
And if you have to, if you absolutely must, just get a cake and cut the cake.
Guys,
Ain't
I
no
just don't
fire
understand
ever
this.
been started
I
from
don't
a
even
cake.
listen. Cricket is just turned 7. This is in the past 5 years. I think this has happened.
It is recent.
This was not a thing that anyone did. I remember push presents were a big deal. People were like, "Oh, are you getting a push present?" I was like, "Yeah, a fucking baby is what I'm getting. I'm getting a baby. That's what I'm pushing out."
The lady who invented them, quote unquote. So there's like an article. I'll send it to y'all.
Yeah, popularized.
She had like had a really hard time having a baby, and when she finally was able to have one, she did a gender reveal party, and then it literally blew out of proportion because it's blowing up forest, and they have been fighting and begging people to stop doing gender reveal parties, and that is the lady who invented gender reveal parties. So the gender reveal party is literally moot.
Can you imagine being 16 and finding out that a party about your gender before you were even born like burned down a state? I'm like, that's not a great start to parenting. That's not a great start.
It doesn't bode well, and it doesn't instill confidence in me that these people can keep a baby alive.
Like, which is
that too dark?
No, I mean, that's what we all want, right? We want people that are demonstrating that they're doing their best with taking care of a kid, which is a very difficult job, and a lot of wild things happen when you're trying to take care of a baby. So burning down a forest and a state isn't a great start.
Have they made a statement? Do they feel terrible? Is it like...
No, they pooped the trampoline. They ran away. They haven't said anything.
They ran away. That sucks.
Haven't said anything.
I hate it. I just hate it because I hate these things. I hate these made up like Hallmark bullshit fucking things that although if Hallmark wants to become a sponsor, we'll do whatever you want, guys. No, but I hate these made up like dumb things. What I don't even know. What are they?
Just have games and pigs in a blanket and celebrate having a baby, because I love a baby shower.
Social media. That's what it is.
I blame Pinterest. I blame Pinterest for giving people ideas.
It's like I think it's not just Pinterest. I think it's like your explore page on Instagram.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right?
But truly, another thing about it is if you've ever watched them, there's a lot of gender reveals where the men are furious they're having girls.
I hate it.
And it's fucked up.
It is fucked up.
It's fucked up. It's like videos of men like crying, throwing cakes, being super
Gross.
pissed that they're having girls. So it's like, it's all really bad.
Yeah, because it comes from a place of like, there's value placed on one thing or the other automatically. And so, you can get a quote unquote good surprise or a bad surprise. I do want to say, if you've had a gender reveal party in the past, we get it. We've jumped on board of popular things that we've, subsequently decided were bad ideas, like Facebook, for example. now that we have more information now. We know that they're disasters and they're not necessarily great for the planet or, the state that we live in.
That's the thing. It's like, yeah, Shantira's right. The best version of a gender reveal party is the cake, right? Because then everybody gets to eat it. Okay. So, guys, gender reveal parties are over. And you have to stop doing them. And I'm sorry if you did one, that's fine. It's just like very
just
late
don't burn
teens.
anything down.
It's very late teens, and it's over. It's in 2020 now, so we're done. We're in the 20s now. No more gender reveal parties. We're gonna look back at gender reveal parties and think like, "Ugh, that was so mid-teens."
Like when people crammed into telephone booths for entertainment in the 20s.
Exactly.
But if you're gonna absolutely go ahead, just make a safe-ish gender reveal party. There is no safe gender reveal party, I think is what we've learned. But at least make it so that it can't harm anyone.
And remember, gender is
physically.
A construct.
Yes.
And cake is real. So.
All right. Who else is doing their best this week or not their best?
You know what I loved? I loved Serena Williams becoming the first player to have 100 wins at the Arthur Ashe Stadium.
Oh, yeah.
Because I love her. But also, did you see her baby go, "That's my mama"?
Oh my gosh, it was so cute.
And how excited she was when she waved back at her baby, like way more excited about seeing her baby. Just like, she's like doing this thing that's like the pinnacle, one of the millions of pinnacles of her career. And she's way more excited to see her baby waving to her than whatever's happening on the court.
That baby is
so cute. That baby's so delicious.
Cute.
Yeah.
That baby is a delicious little baby.
And I'm sure you saw over the summer the like pictures of Serena and the baby.
Oh, it was
like
so
side by
cute.
Side posing. Caissie, did you see it?
Yeah.
There's also a picture of them both wearing Australian Open champion t-shirts because Serena was pregnant with Olympia when she won. So technically Olympia is the youngest person to ever win the Australian Open. And I'm like, flex, little baby.
That's amazing. Olympia. I love Olympia. I love Serena. Tyler Perry's a billionaire, which I didn't realize until today.
That makes sense.
I think he might have just like become a billionaire.
He just became a billionaire. $1 for every Madea movie.
Wait, wait, so he just crossed the billionaire threshold?
Yes. Yeah. Forbes confirmed.
I like the stuff that he does. Like, I like when like he goes into like a Walmart and pays everybody's layaway gifts in the whole store right before Christmas. Like, have you ever seen him do that stuff?
He's like a black Santa in Atlanta. He's
I love that.
Atlanta.
Santa of Atlanta.
I love how much he gives back and how he gives back, and I'm looking forward to seeing how he gives back even more as now he is a billionaire.
Now that he's a billionaire,
and
the article. Go
ahead. No, I just like anyone who becomes a billionaire. All I'm interested in is how are you giving away all that money?
Yes.
How are you giving it away? Where are you giving it away to? And how soon
can you give it away?
How soon are you giving it away?
The article said
$1 billion is too much money.
It is. The article said that the secret to him becoming a billionaire is that he focused on a product that everybody else thought wasn't worth anything, which I think is,
absolutely true.
Was like a throwaway.
Going to cinema. Absolutely. Yeah. I remember growing up going to see all those movies. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the other thing is that which spoke to me is that he made sure that he owned and controlled everything, which a great man known as Prince, also that was a big thing that he did in his career. And, that's a really an important way to build wealth. Like, who's going to own it? Think about it. Like he has a great mind for business.
Yeah, that's the Diane Warren thing, right? She was the first songwriter to insist on owning her masters, and it that's where it's
kind of incredible.
I don't even know if you can make any money. You guys, did you see this thing? This wasn't on what we were going to talk about. These are did you see this Sturgis motorcycle rally? Turns out it was you didn't see this?
No.
They feel like 250,000, is that the correct number? Cases of COVID-19
are due to the Sturgis rally.
Oh, I remember that.
19% of the national cases are due to people attending the Sturgis motorcycle rally. That is truly
I'm so tired.
not doing your best, guys.
I'm
not
tired.
doing your best.
In the words of my grandma, I'm so sick and tired of this foolishness.
I'm so sick and tired of this foolishness. This was one event. A single event.
And then how many billions of dollars of healthcare are they saying?
This is how it's estimated public health cost. $12 billion, guys.
So when, this is an interesting argument, and maybe this is like a little boring for a podcast, but it's the truth. People keep saying, oh, we got to get the economy going. Like, we can't just shut it down forever. But when we open things up prematurely or we open things up unsafely, that is a way bigger hit to the economy.
And one of the things that's really been bothering me too is that people talk about the economy like they are vast participants in it. 90% of the stock market is like 10% of the people in America, maybe even less. The economy that they are talking about, you do not participate in. Unless you are Jeff Bezos.
You're not Tyler Perry.
You're not Tyler Perry. Like, the stock market crashing, like, please nobody email me about this, but like the stocks, all the stocks in quotation mark, you ain't got no stocks.
I don't have stocks.
That's the irony. That's the irony of
the average American ain't got no stocks.
But
so,
like
you have
the average American, tends to vote against their own best interests. The people
I'd
that
say
could
the
really
average
use
white American.
That's correct.
That's what
I'm
would
so
say.
sorry. I'm so sorry, Shantira. Thank you for that correction.
It's very frustrating. Also, my whole family lives in Florida. My parents live in Tallahassee. And I think that it's very interesting to hear like old black people be like, I don't know, man. I don't know what they doing. I don't know, man. And I'd be like, I don't know either, Daddy. I don't know.
Okay.
You know
All
who
right.
totally knows what he's doing?
Who?
Our guest today.
Oh, yes. It's so
Ron
nice.
I'm
Funches.
obsessed. Listen, Ron Funches is one of the greatest humans.
He's the light we need at the end of this goddamn dark tunnel.
I can't wait for Ron Funches to take over the world. I can't wait for Ron Funches to become a billionaire. I look forward to all the good he would put back into the universe with his billions of dollars.
He would be a billionaire for 10 seconds. As soon as he hit $1 billion, he'd give it away.
That's
Kind of dope.
Me.
I like that idea.
Me too.
Yeah. You know that I love people. I care deeply about all people, but there are only like 3 people in the world that I'm truly obsessed with, and he is one of them. And it was very hard for me to rein myself in talking to him because I just love him so much, and I just wanted to.
We were all very gushy.
Yeah,
He's like
he deserves it.
I would never give a man a compliment unless he really deserved it.
That's
and
correct,
he is a
Shantira.
very nice man. I like him.
But can I just say, like, Ron Funches is not just like, in comparison to other men,
He's a
exceptional.
wonderful person.
He's like an exceptional human.
Yes.
Just period. And
Straight
then
up.
the fact that he's a man is truly wild.
Yeah,
Because he
He's too good.
exceeds our expectations at every turn. We love him so much. You have so many opportunities to spend time with him in entertainment right now, and hopefully we'll get a lot more opportunities soon. But right now, really just enjoy this chat we had with him. Guys, let me tell you something. We've talked about it before. This is a real life thing that I use and I love. It's Sakara. And Sakara is a nutrition company. It focuses on overall wellness, and it starts with what you eat, what you put into your body. And I've been on this journey for wellness. And then Sakara was doing our ads the first week, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to do that again. I'm going to get back on the Sakara train because, I'm trying to just feel the best that I can feel. And then also the moon horoscope said that would be a great thing for me to do in September. I'm not even kidding you. And listen, it's all plant-based ingredients, and it's ready to eat, and it's organic. So I like to pretend I'm Beyonce when I get Sakara delivered because she's like vegan, plant-based. And It's really delicious. You guys, Beyonce, I don't know if she uses Sakara. I'm just...
Beyonce was only vegan to prepare for homecoming, and then she went back to eating meat.
Well, listen, I'm only vegan because the moon told me I need to be.
One thing that's so great is no matter what your diet is, no matter how you eat, this is just an amazing way to get in all those fruits and vegetables that are hard to get in.
You know, right now, Sakara is offering our listeners 20% off their first order when they go to sakara.com/ourbest or enter our best at checkout. That's Sakara, SAKARA.com/ourbest to get 20% off your first order. Sakara.com/ourbest. Okay, Shantira and I were just talking, and we were saying that it's always fun when there's a person who surprises you with something. Like, for instance, I guess Vin Diesel is a Dungeons and Dragon master. Like,
he loves it.
He loves it. Like, who would have thought that Vin Diesel, unapologetically, like that guy, you know, with the muscles and the cars and all that stuff, he's very into D&D. Good for him. But you know, it's like that. It's like Vizzy hard seltzer, because it's a drink that can do both. It stands out by having something all the other hard seltzers don't: antioxidant, vitamin C. And you know, sometimes you're looking at a thing and you're like, all of these things, I don't know. I'll just give me one. Whichever one, it's fine. But when the choice is Vizzy, you got to get Vizzy with it. Isn't that what we said? It's the only hard seltzer crafted with the antioxidant vitamin C. And, you know, there are plenty of hard seltzers to choose from. But with 4 bold and refreshing natural flavors and the antioxidant vitamin C, Vizzy makes the choice easier and tastier. Pineapple mango, black cherry lime, strawberry kiwi, and blueberry pomegranate. Blueberry pomegranate is my favorite. And I love to get Vizzy with it. I hope they really use that. I really hope that they use that as their new slogan. Upgrade your hard seltzer with Vizzy. To find out where you can purchase Vizzy, go to VizzyHardSeltzer.com. That's VizzyHardSeltzer.com. It's V as in Vizzy, VIZZY. You must be 21 and older to drink Vizzy, guys. Come on.
Obvious.
What are you? Obviously. Let's not be crazy.
You do this from your shoe closet, Busy?
Yes. Well, my closet. There's shoes. There are definitely shoes, but there's also other stuff like clothing.
That does make sense closet-wise.
Accessories. Okay, shall we do this? Ron, thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you for having me.
Is everyone recording?
Yeah.
We just live that lifestyle where we just be talking, and sometimes we did not press the button.
It's hard to remember. And also, like, Ron, you've had your podcast for a long time, and certainly as a comedian have been a guest on so many podcasts for so many years. And we're new to the podcast game, and I'm used to somebody else pressing record.
No, trust me, I understand that.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Guys, we are so lucky today to have truly one of my favorite humans, Ron Funches, join us. Ron, first off, congratulations are in order. You just got married.
I did.
Yes.
And I saw the pics online that you shared with the world, and I was grateful for that moment of joy in what has been a very difficult time for everybody. And congratulations to you.
Thank you.
They were so cute. The pics were so
because
cute.
it was also kind of difficult deciding whether we should post it, because we're like, you know, everybody's going through a lot of stuff right now and feeling negative, and some people feel alone and isolated. And the last thing I wanted to do is be like, look at us, we're married and happy and we're doing well today, you know. So but I was really overwhelmed by the amount of people that you know congratulated us, and I was really happy with getting married.
But you're like a nice person. That's the thing.
Yeah,
it's like
you thought
when you
about
see
it.
like an asshole get married to like a nice lady, and then be like, I did something nice. You're like, I don't want to fucking see you happy. But then like But I saw you and I was like, that is a nice black man and I'm happy for him. And that is what I need. So
and I think that in this time I understand the inclination, and I think everything is like in how things are put out there online and social media. But like we talk about this on the pod, but like that's the duality of this time, man. Like it is hard and dark and sometimes very fearful and scary. But at the same time, let's like take a moment to celebrate that you have real love in your life and you are able to celebrate it and have this moment, and that you shared it with your fans and your friends and the people that are rooting for you, I think really means a lot to people right now.
Yeah, it was really beautiful.
I agree with that 100%. And just that when, things seem dark and times are down, you do have to celebrate every positive moment that you have, every little victory, or in this case, it was a very big victory for me. I was married before when I was 20, and I at one point was like, this will never happen again. I will just be a single dad for the rest of my life.
Is that what you thought, really?
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And what changed? What was the shift for you?
Her.
Yeah.
It was meeting her and being like, oh, it's not just like, I guess I wouldn't tell this or it sounds rude, but I tell other people like, I've met women who are very beautiful. I've met women that are very cool. I've met some women that are very kind. I've met some women that are very smart. But I had never met a woman that had the complete combination of those things and like overabundance. She's truly one of the kindest people I ever met, which is, people say I'm a kind person. And she's the only person I know who's like, you're being an asshole right now.
She's Canadian, right? Your wife is Canadian. Of course, she's nicer than you, dude.
She's so nice.
They got us beat, man. They
truly do. They truly do. The last time I was in Canada, I had gotten too much marijuana. And so I was like, oh, okay, I'm leaving out today. I want to go and leave it for somebody to find. And so I went and found one of those little free newspaper boxes, and you can just open them up and there's little newspapers. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to go put weed in there. So the next person that opens it up is like, oh, cool. I go and open one up. There's already free weed in there. I was like, damn it, Canada. You won't let me out nice you for one moment.
Oh my gosh.
Please
That's
come
amazing.
to my neighborhood and do that.
There's a little free library right on my street. You can just pop a bag in there.
We should open free weed libraries. That's a great idea to bring people some joy in this time.
Especially in these trying times.
Take a strain, leave a strain.
Yeah, exactly. Well, speaking of nice people, nice ones, that's what your new Quibi game show is called, Nice One. And it's where comedians try to be nice.
Yeah, we look at the positive side of negative situations. Basically a game show where I force comedians to write like me for a change.
It's so cute. I saw the previews and everybody on it is like people that I like, and it's like every comedian has their own style, obviously, but it was like you see like I think Zach Fox, and you're like, I can't wait to see him be nice.
Why do you think, Ron? Why do you think it is that so many comedians default to going kind of mean or blue or to that side of the spectrum?
I have multiple things I think about it. I think it's kind of the natural thing to observe and then critique. To break it down and see what you see wrong in it. On a very base level, I had this discussion with a comedian, Jim Norton, and he did not very much agree with me. But I was saying that it is just easier as a concept to destroy than it is to build.
Yes. I agree with that completely. As a comedian, I completely agree with that. People can find anger so easily. It's so easy to write a joke about a thing you're mad at as opposed to writing a joke about a thing that you find fun. I completely agree. I agree with you, Ron. So
anger is like the first click. Like that's the first thing that you feel. And I've always thought this about your comedy is that you are going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 extra steps to bring it back around to like, how is this funny in a positive way? You're taking so many extra steps to bring it around to a way that like just feels so joyful and so enjoyable.
Oh, thank you very much.
Ron, is that how you've always been in your life? Like since you were little?
Yeah, it's a learned skill. I just grew up with a lot of hardships and a lot of traumas in my life. My mom's a single parent. My dad was a recovering addict for most of my life. My mom eventually moved us to Chicago, where she ended up in that would be the term, abusive relationship for most of my childhood, from like ages 8 till 14. And so it is very much an ingrained thing in my head to find the positives in what seems to be completely dire situations, because that's how I had to survive.
Ron, I've seen your stand up, and I think one of the things that is really fun is that you're kind to yourself in a fun way. And I think that people are taught so often to like, you gotta be nice to other people even when you're going through a hard time. And like you would do jokes and be like, and then I bought myself something nice. And I'm like, yeah, we have to learn to be kind to ourselves even when things are hard.
Oh, truly. I think that's one of that's so odd that we're so quick to be kinder to other people than ourselves. It's been ingrained in us for so long, but it's so weird. Like you can't be nice to others until you take care of yourself. And that's something that I do take very seriously in my household. And one of the things with my wife, one of the few things we argue with at first was that she liked to, like we all do, we like to put ourselves down sometimes in our humor. And I would not laugh, and I would tell her, I go, look, I know it's a joke. I know what you're doing. I've seen it 1,000 times, but I don't really like that in my house. Because I know within every joke, there is a sense of truth. So we let the world put us down. The world will do that. The world will do it enough. So when we're here in our home, we just don't put ourselves down. We don't put each other down. If we make a mistake, we never go, oh, I'm so stupid. And those are very simple things. And a lot of people go, oh, why are you so on it about those things? But that's so weird. We all make mistakes. We all do errors. And why do half the time when we do, we go, oh, I'm an idiot. I'm stupid. I'm this, I'm that. It does nothing positive for your soul. So I try to avoid that 100% in my life. It's something I think that with my son and him having autism, being diagnosed when he was 2, was something I was very much like, hey, you are a competent, capable, smart, kind, wonderful person, autism or not. You do not let people define you by your autism. You define who you are by your actions. And that's always been something I've thought about since I was very young.
Gosh. I love that so much.
Me too.
Now, do you ever have moments where you feel like you want to put yourself down, and how do you stop that?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, because we all have our faults. We have things. I deal with eating addictions all the time. As we know, I used to be 360 pounds, and I still
worked so hard.
Yeah, diet and exercise, which I'm not putting anyone down that needs to do surgeries or anything of that nature. I'm just extremely proud of myself that I was able to turn it around through diet and exercise. But I still struggle mentally with it all the time. I love looking for foods. And I used to put myself down about why can't you just eat one cookie? Why can't you just stop at one bowl of cereal? Other people can do it. Why can't you do it?
We all are doing more than one cookie, right?
Yeah. Oh, no, yeah. I know. Now I know.
Be kind to yourself, Ron. We're all doing we're all doing that.
Yeah, Shantira brings up a good point. I do think these last 6 months have been so hard and stressful for so many reasons, obviously. And I think that for a lot of us, we're I know for myself, the hardest thing is for me to be generous with myself and go easy on myself. I was just literally on a business call before this talking about how I had gained weight, which after I got off the call, I was like, what the fuck is wrong with me, Vizzy? Shut the fuck up. Why would you even say that? It was so weird that I just had to say it, because also I revert to the actor that was told to lose weight for 15 years of my career. And I'm I'm just going to say it so that if anyone thinks that I've gained weight, that I beat them to. Yes. And It must be a struggle, but I love that you institute that in the home because I do think like our words have such power.
Can I tell you something? I put myself through college working in a nursing home, but there were fucking 100-year-old women still doing that shit. They'd be like, I can't eat all this chicken puree or else I'm gonna get hippie. Then I'd be like, eat all your chicken puree and have your pudding as well. Like, you've earned it. You're 100.
Please.
Yeah, I think that's that happens so often in life. And I think I've seen it, and I don't want to speak, but I love to talk to you because you're all women, is that sometimes there's these prisons that seem to be making of our own mind of like, I got to do like this and I got to do like that. It is often the patriarchy putting forth these rules upon you. But then I often see it seems like, oh no, these are just things that you think men want. Like I'll have these conversations with my wife and she's like, oh no, guys like it when you do the eyebrows like this or that. And I go, I've never had a conversation with a man about eyebrows in my life.
Well, Ron, we talk a lot on this podcast about people's pivots, like in career or in life. And I feel like just knowing you and knowing your history, I feel like you've had several in your life. Mm-hmm. And certainly probably like your son having the diagnosis when he was 2 was a pretty big like pivot in terms of what you kind of thought was going to be your kid's life. And then like what you have now, who he is and what's been going on. Like, how did that like affect you and the way that you were like parenting and your relation, all of those things?
Sure. I'll go back a little bit. Like my life had several pivots just in those few years. Like, I was 19 when I got my first wife pregnant, and I was just excited. It felt really, I was like, oh, at least I'm going to turn 20 before my son is born. So I don't have to be a teenage father.
Oh my God.
And so that and I was just a big pot. Still a big pothead, but I was just not doing much. I was just hanging around, not doing much. And then my son was born, and it kind of just truly motivated me. And I was like, I'm going to get a good job. I'm going to get a 401k. I'm going to focus and turn my life around. I got a job at a bank call center. I was wearing a tie. I wasn't smoking weed for like 2 years.
Wow.
It was a whole thing. And then when my son was diagnosed with autism, it kind of tweaked my brain again, where I was like, oh, I need more than a job. I need a career. I don't know if my son's ever gonna, hopefully he will, but he might live with me for the rest of his life. And that was one of the coolest things that my wife ever said to me, was months before we even got engaged. She was like, hey, I just want to let you know, I know he might be here and I'm cool with that for the rest of our life. If he's here with us for the rest of our life, that's great with me. And that was one of the nicest things she ever said to me.
That's not Canadian. That's just straight up fucking good people right there.
Yeah. We've had many conversations. Like one time we were in Canada. We couldn't get into our hotel, so we went to this little pot bar and we just hanging around. And then she just talked to me and she goes, do you ever worry about your son not having a girlfriend or not, falling in love with someone because he's not very social? And I go, yeah, I think about that every single day. And it was the first time I ever shared that with someone. And then we both started crying in the middle of this pot bar. And I was like, oh, this is like her son to her. She cares about this guy. But to get back around what I was talking about, things like that, I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to defend my son's differences for the rest of my life. I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, we go fix this and we're gonna change him. It's like, no, like this is a part of him. It doesn't define him, but it's a part of him. And I have to defend that. And then it got into my brain of like, oh, if I'm going to defend that he's different, I have to be able to defend that I'm different, that I want to do different things. I knew I wanted to be a comedian since I was 5 years old. I was just afraid to do it because I thought it was a weird thing to do. And I was like, no, I have to be myself because there's no other options here. I don't see how I'm going to provide for my son if I can't defend myself. How can I defend him?
Wow. Wait, that's like really kind of an incredible statement. And I love that you were like, I got to follow my truth. I got to be true to myself because I need to like be able to stand up for this kid for the rest of his life. That's really cool, Ron.
Thank you. Yeah, it was very, I think it's the thing that's helped me be successful, much quicker than I ever expected, is that I didn't have time to play around. I wasn't a comedian that hung out. I mean, I don't drink, but I never hung around. I had to go do a show, come back home and be with my son, and even when I moved out here to LA, I eventually got sole custody of my son. And so I would go to Comedy Store and do a late night set and then have to get up at 5:36 in the morning, get him on the bus, get his bacon sandwich ready, send him off to school. And it just taught me to kind of have more of a discipline with this job than I think a lot of people do,
Do you feel like that discipline has helped you find success in the comedy world?
Truly. I was just telling my wife today, like, I think I'm able to handle being on set a lot easier. And I never thought this would be good training at all. I never understood. But when my son was first diagnosed, like, one of the main reasons we knew we had problems is that he just wouldn't sleep. He would sleep there was a solid, I'm going to say 6-month period when he was 3 years old where he would only sleep from 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. every day, like clockwork. He would fall asleep at 2 on the dot, wake up at 5 on the dot. And that's just the amount of sleep I would get. and that was for 6 months straight. And so now when I'm on set for 14 hours a day, or they want to do an overnight, or they want to do things like that, I'm like, oh, I got this. I've been here.
I think about how the universe prepares you when you're like at least expecting it.
Yeah. Learn to keep my head, be patient. Because we also, we were living in a tiny little apartment complex, neighbors all around. And so we're just trying, that hours between 11 till 2 are us just being like, come on, calm down, be quiet. And the neighbors knocking on our ceiling. It was like one of the most stressful time periods in my entire life.
In those stressful moments when you're trying to comfort your son and the neighbors are banging, like, what were you telling yourself? Like, how were you talking yourself through getting through that moment?
I don't know. I truly don't know. It was a lot of just flying by the seat of my pants and just knowing that, like, I learned quickly that, like, yelling at him is not going to help the circumstance by any means. Mm-mm. So we just had to learn to be patient and peaceful and figure out a lot of skills I use now, problem solving, of just unorthodox thinking. What can we do to keep him quiet? What can we do to just get him on, observing something different? And I think those are skills I still use a lot.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
So you become super successful. I first met you when you were doing Undateable because I was finishing up Cougar Town, and I got to come and see you do stand-up live. And Ron, you've always just had such like a light about you. And I loved you in that sitcom. And I wondered, is that something you would like to do more of, like sitcom acting, or, or like, you should be the lead of your own show. Can we do that?
That's what I'm working on right now.
Tell me what you're working on.
Doing.
What's going to happen?
Well, I'm writing a show about being a single father of a son with autism.
Listen, write what you know.
Like.
Yeah. You got to write your own story.
Fun comedy with lots of fun drama in there. And just been working on that because it's my passion project, because that's, it's what I've known that I remember living through it and going, this is going to be a great show. That is how I would survive it. That is actually how I would survive it. I would sit and go, this is going to be great when I write about it.
That's amazing.
It is amazing. I also am telling you, I think there's a book that you need to write too. Let's get that in there.
I'm on board.
We have a lot of jobs for Ron to do, a lot of homework for
Ron. I want you to get so many streams of money. I want you to get it from TV, from movies, from books.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Yes. I have no idea how to implement that. I'm just the idea guy, okay?
You and me both.
I got some pitches for you, but you're going to have to bring them home.
I feel like you should. Do you still like your gummies? Those gummy sweets?
Those were so good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you have like a deal with them?
No, sometimes they send me gummies, but I'm like, you guys know you should be sending me money by now.
They should be sending you money because I didn't even hear about Smart Sweets until you sent them my way.
Absolutely. This is
I
a
sell
pitch
a lot
for
of
you.
your gummies. I tell people a lot about your gummies. I am basically the physical manifestation of your product. I am smart. I am sweet. I'm a chocolate covered gummy bear.
You really, and yeah, you're like, but also, wait, have you like reached out to them? Has your manager reached out to them? Seriously, we don't have to put this in the episode, but
no, let's put it in.
But I feel like. And she'll make like those outgoing calls to brands.
I like that. I gotta do that. I gotta
get
sometimes
it one too,
I will just DM the social media, and then I realize later that they probably don't run anything.
They don't have the power. They don't have the power.
They don't have the power, and also like a lot of times with the people that run the social medias for these brands, they're like, happy to collaborate. I'll send you like 4 packages of gummies, and you can post about them. And you're like, well, that's not exactly how this works. No. You need to have like your agent call their people. You know what I mean?
You guys, you're really blowing my mind. Both of you are really blowing my mind. The only thing I've ever asked my manager to do that I think is unorthodox or weird is one time I was like, do you think I could be a hand model? And she was like, I guess I'll call someone.
Wait, Shantira, you want to be a hand model?
My hands are beautiful.
You really do. You have really nice long fingers.
I have really nice long nail beds. And you want to know how I know I have beautiful hands? It's because I used to work retail. I used to fold clothes at Banana Republic. And I would fold clothes, and rich people would be like, you have beautiful hands. And if enough white ladies on Michigan Avenue tell you should be a hand model, sometimes you just got to go for it.
You be the next George Costanza.
Ron, can I ask a question about I already know that I love this show and I love this theoretical book so much because I love the material that you do about your son because it is so loving. I think a lot of comedians do material about their family members and, kind of like we were talking about, like, but sometimes I'm like, wow, that's gonna be a hard dinner tomorrow night. Or like one day when their kid grows up and hears this. How do you access that just like kindness and love? It's obvious how much you love him.
Oh, I mean, I don't think it's that hard at all. And because I love him. And so I'm going to speak about him with love, even if I'm talking about something he did that was silly or pissed me off. Like one of my favorite jokes about when he refused to put his pants on while he was eating pizza.
Right. He got hot nuts.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
I know that. I love that story.
Yeah, exactly. But that's because it's so specific. And sometimes when you write very specific, even though it didn't happen to anyone else, I get so many parents who are like, I relate to that just because my son or my daughter can be an asshole sometimes. And then karma hits them in the face. But to get back to what you were saying, it was that when I first started comedy, a lot of my jokes and a lot of the way I wrote was a reaction to the comedy that was popular at the time that I didn't really enjoy. A lot of me was like, oh, I want to write another way. I believe when I started, like Louis C.K. was kind of like at his height of being popular. And although it's very popular to say you're not a fan of his, at the beginning, I wasn't a big fan of his because I didn't like the way he wrote racially. It seemed like to me, a lot of his jokes were like, hey, I'm going to just figure out a way to say the N-word and I'm going to write backwards.
He loves saying the N-word.
Loves it. Loves finding a way to do it.
He loved it. He loved to say it. He loved to say it so much. He was saying it. I didn't even start really hitting the N-word till I got to my mid-20s. I think that Louis C.K. has said the N-word on stage more than me. And I'm black as hell. He
probably
loved
more than
it.
both of us.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine.
It was just wild.
Also, the way he would talk about his family and talk about his wife, talk about his children. I never liked it because I was like, there's a real meanness to this. And so I always, from the beginning, like I would talk to them about my mom and they would sometimes be apprehensive about it. But I go like, hey, I'm always going to come at it from a place of love. I'm always, because I love you. And the reason why I'm talking about it is because I like talking about the things I love. I don't want to talk about things that I don't care about. Like I hate, it's not a trend now, but it was a trend like a year ago. I go to the Comedy Store and hear 10 different bits about Caitlyn Jenner. And I was like, why do you give a fuck? You're only writing about it because you think that's what you should be writing about. And I don't like doing that. I like talking about what I love, what I care about, and I leave the rest behind, which means often I don't write as much material as everybody else. But it does mean when I do write it, it's personal. It can't really be stolen. And it's about what I love and then what I care about.
Also, by the way, with Twitter, with the advent of Twitter and social media and stuff, it's like you're getting all of those takes 4,000 times a day from like everyone from like your friend from high school, boyfriend or whatever. You know what I mean?
Political comedy in general. You watch a lot of these comedies and they start making references to people and you're like, I don't even know who that is. I didn't know who that was 5 years ago, and I definitely don't know now.
Well, you know what's interesting, Ron? You're a big fan of Lucille Ball, right?
Mm-hmm. I have a portrait of her in my corner.
I've always found her to be one of the most personal comedians because that whole show was just like an amplification of her real life and her relationship and family situation. And that's what she always did. And I think that's why people loved her so much because she was just exaggerating these situations that she was, that she was living.
Is your show going to be called I Love Ron?
Oh, now it is. I love that. So sure, yes, now it is.
Yeah. I love Ron Funches. I actually think it should be I love Ron Funches. Yeah. Because you just really do. You have to say Ron Funches. It can't just be Ron. Can't just be.
No, that could be a lot of people.
Yeah.
You're right. The Funches for sure is going to be like, oh, I know a couple of Funches. There's going to be a bunch of Rons.
You're the only Funches for us.
Yeah, no, I'm slowly taking over the complete Funches game. I know my dad was also Ron Funches, but nobody's Googling him.
So you talked a little bit about the pivot that you had when your son was diagnosed with autism. What's been your biggest career pivot, do you feel like? How'd you handle that?
I think my biggest career pivot is kind of going on now. And it also involved like my weight loss, Yeah. Because that was me. There was a time period where it's like, oh, okay, like I'm getting a lot of auditions to play the same role of this, like, the fat friend and the thing. And I could conceivably do this for a long time. But it also kind of reminded me of working at the bank where I was like, oh, like this is kind of a trap. This is kind of short term. Eventually I'm going to get too expensive for them and they'll just find a younger version of me to replace me with if I don't, push my skill set and do what I want to do. And so it quickly became like, oh, you know what? I love working on sitcoms. It's really fun. I think I'm great at it. I think it's something that'll hopefully be there for me. But I was like, I want to write my show and do my thing. And so most of my career lately has been completely opposite. It's most of me sitting at home turning down work, which doesn't feel natural to me. But I'm like, I only have so many shots of, I prove what I can do. And if I want to prove I can be a leading man, I have to write it and I have to show it. No one's going to hand it to me. So I have to go and get it. And either I'm going to fall on my face trying and I'll learn some things or I'll get it. And both of those sound like positives to me. So I'm just really working on that now. Just really focus on my acting class, focusing on my health a lot, just making sure I treadmill twice a day, that I do my training with my trainer. I'm really I think I've been very lucky. I've worked with a lot of great leading people. And so I've been able to watch what they do. And so I go like, oh, this is a serious job. I have to, when I'm a character actor, I can just go, I can show up, I can go to work, I can eat craft services all day, I can go home and go to bed. If I'm a leading man, I'm in the writing room. Yep. I'm there early for auditions. I'm there till the very end. And then after that, I better go work out because they don't want me looking bloated on camera. And so I'm learning to do all of that now in hopes that if it happens, I'm not just dunked into a deep end of things.
Oh my gosh, you're preparing. You're preparing.
An actor prepares.
An actor prepares.
An actor prepares, but also, Ron, you're putting in work that so many, especially men, don't ever consider, like putting in. I just want to tell you, as somebody who has been an actor for too many years, I want this show. I want to see it. Am I your new wife on the show? I don't know.
Can be. You actually will fit the vibe very well.
I know, right? Am I coming out of acting retirement to act with you? Is it set up anywhere? Have you sold it? Where are we at? Are we just
sold a
secreting
couple
it?
times. So
Okay.
we were working with Apple for a little bit, but then they kind of were like, we're all family friendly right now.
Right.
And so now we've been developing with FX.
That's the place.
I love
think
FX. You
I
can say
do
the
too.
N-word there because Louis C.K.
Yeah,
loves it.
no, absolutely. I love their slate. I mean, truly, obviously, I wouldn't lie. I would lie right now because I'm working with them. But my favorite shows right now are What We Do in the Shadows and Dave. And so
Dave
is so
Ron.
good.
That was my favorite show this summer. I was
truly
I
the best new show of
freaked
the year.
out.
Yeah.
Guys, if you haven't watched Dave,
You gotta
on
watch
FX.
it.
Ron Funches and
I've been writing. I'll watch Dave, and sometimes it pisses me off because then I'm like, I'm not good enough yet. But it really, watching that show is very motivating for me.
I love what you just said though about writing. You said I'm not good enough yet, instead of just saying that you're not good enough. I love that so much.
I like to be honest about things. I would tell people how I don't, even though I'm very positive, I'm not surreal about things. I try to be very realistic. If you asked me a couple years ago, they were like, Ron, what are you? I go, I'm a great comedian and I'm a decent actor. And then now I would go, I'm one of the best comedians working today and I'm a solid actor. And I'm hoping to get it to great. So
that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Honestly. That's really, but you know what? It's also self-awareness, Ron, which is probably why we like you.
There's one thing I didn't want to gloss over that you said, though, that you said something about how a lot of men in Hollywood or in acting, they don't really see that behind the scenes work that they have to do. And that's very truthful. That's something I noticed. I think because a lot of the lessons I'm taking have been from female leads that I've worked with and watching how they have to eat, watching, my friend, I'll just say her name, but I won't say her last name. Watching my friend Briga work all day on set and then eat a fucking yam for lunch. Right. I was like, wow, that's dedication. That's dealing with a whole nother level of people scrutinizing you that I don't have to deal with. But I started putting that on myself, and not in a negative way. I'm never like, oh, you need to starve yourself or do this. I just constantly tell myself, you gotta prepare to be your best you. And it also came from, I was listening to a wrestling podcast by a famous wrestler named Arn Anderson. And he was like, the wrestling job is very simple. If you make it simple, you just have to look your best. You have to be ready and you have to have a great attitude. And I was like, that's my job. That's what I have to do.
I mean, it's true though. I just find that I know some actors who are men who put the time and the work into it, but generally speaking, I will say they're very, very successful, super, super successful. And I think that there's sort of a mid-level, I don't know, dude that kind of just floats through and exists on there.
I also think that a lot of times, even if you're not in the industry, growing up watching television, I fully understood that in order to be a woman on television and be a leading woman, you had to look and do a specific thing. And if you wanted to be a dude, truly you could just be like, hey man, get in your car and drive there. Even Vizzy saying that, I don't think I've ever heard, even Ron talking about it, someone give men the advice that I have heard women get just to even think about setting foot in this industry. And not even being an actor, being a stand-up. They want you to be a hot lady stand-up. You can't even just be a regular bitch and go stand on stage with the mic. They want you to be hot. And it's I gotta be hot to tell you about me and my dad fighting? Why?
When I was a young writer, my friend and I were being mentored by an old school Hollywood writer, and he was great, and it was so nice of him to offer his time to mentor us. But he legit told my friend it wouldn't kill you to girly it up a little.
Oh my God.
She just wanted to be a writer.
You don't even go see me.
Oh my gosh. Ron, I hope I'm not gushing too much. I really am a big fan. No. But you're I feel like you're kind of a model of security in a way that I would really like to emulate, because I think you have plans and you are doing all this preparedness, but you're also very okay with who you are and where you are today. And so I'm just how the fuck do you do that?
That was a big lesson from my son, from the diagnosis with the autism, because it had to change how I viewed him, how I viewed parenthood, how I viewed college, how I viewed a lot of things, because I think like any parent, any dumb dad especially, I'm just like, oh, my son's going to be big and strong and he's going to go to the NBA or he's going to be a football player or he's going to be a scientist. And then it quickly shifted to like, oh, I don't know if he'll ever tell me that he loves me. I don't know if he'll ever string out a full sentence, and because for many years he was nonverbal. And I had to learn, and I tell this to anyone who messages me when they're on the beginning of the journey. I get a lot of messages from people who are like, oh, my kid's 3 and we just got a diagnosis and it's shattered our world. And how do we move forward? And one of the base level things I always tell them is the first thing you have to do is get rid of all expectations, but don't lose hope, because you don't know what will happen. You should not expect a single thing to happen, but doesn't mean you don't try. Like, I went to therapy with my son for several years of him not saying a word. And then one day his teacher blew bubbles with a thing and he just goes, bubbles. And me and my ex-wife just burst into tears because we finally heard him say something. And now comes around, tells me he loves me, tells me how his day's going, tell me everything, and it's still like, it's not what we call typical, but like I can have these conversations with my son and I can know what he's feeling and I can ask him what he thinks about COVID and all those things. And I can get a reaction from him. And when he was 3 or 4, I never thought that would happen. And so even now I'm like, oh, he might live with me for the rest of his life, but he's also a very independent young man. He might, end up down the street from me. He might end up in a different town from me. I don't know. I don't have any expectations, but I have hope.
All right. That's it, guys.
That's for the whole life. That's for everybody.
That's
life.
That's our lesson for today.
Yeah.
That's the whole book.
You have to release expectations, but always hold on to hope. I fucking love you, Ron Funches.
I love you, Vizzy.
Aw. And I'm so happy for you guys and your new life together as a married couple.
I really like it. Great decision.
Do you think you'd have any more kids? Do you want more kids?
Probably, yeah.
Yay!
Oh, a little swirly baby with us that's wearing a hood?
I can't
Amazing.
But I really want to squeeze a baby. So
not to give you even another assignment.
Yeah. I can't
book, show, baby.
Yo, listen, we're pitching this baby, right? You got to make it come through. I can't help you. We pitched the book, we pitched the TV show, we pitched the baby. It's all on you, Ron.
BSB, book, show, baby.
Baby.
Yes,
let's go.
BSB.
Let's
Put
go.
it on my shoulders. Let's do it.
I'll buy you baby Jordans. I buy all babies Jordans. I think it's
that's
so
what
fun.
I want, because that's the thing I messed up with my son. By the time I had any money, he had his own likes and opinions. And so I buy him his first pair of Jordans. He's like, I want Skechers.
No. I got you. Ron Funches, when you have bunches of Funches, I will be buying you some baby Jordans. That is my fun black aunt vibe.
I can't wait. Well, Ron, we'll let you go. This has been a true delight. Everybody can check out. When does the Quibi show start?
It's out now.
Oh, it is? Mm-hmm. I don't have Quibi. Sorry.
Well, a lot of people don't, which is why I need to promote it.
All right, let's promote it. Let's
Guys, do it. I will. Let me do my pitch for a person like you, Busy, that does not have it.
Okay, tell me.
I understand. First of all, there are a lot of streaming services in the world. A lot of things going on. People were dunking on Quibi when it came out, saying a lot of mean things because they didn't have a TV out, which truly was a mistake that they made. That was on them.
You're right, Ron.
But
You're right.
what I will say is not a lot of people were offering to give me shows or give me work of any type and let me get out my style of comedy. If you like me, if you like my optimistic style, if you like me on shows like At Midnight, this is my version of that type of show. I get to showcase a lot of great comedians that I love and enjoy. Quibi does have a free 2-week trial. And I know what you're saying. Yeah, okay, those 2-week trials are fun and all, but then you forget about them and your credit card gets charged. But hey, guess what? No credit card required. So you could literally watch just All the Nice One, which is available now. 8 episodes. You could watch Me and Reno 911, which is also a fun series on Quibi. Then you could just forget about it and never activate it again, as far as I care.
I'm downloading it right now. I swear to God, I'm in. That was the best pitch I've ever heard. And plus, I do love you, and I want to watch your show, Nice One, and support you, because more people should be giving you shows, and FX should definitely pick up your pilot.
Yes.
Because we need that in our lives, Ron. Thank you for continuing to bring us all so much joy. Your podcast drops every week. Every Monday? Every Monday.
Afternoon.
Every Monday, getting better with Ron Funches. And remember, what are we going to do? We're going to let go of expectations, but always hold on to hope. Ron, you're so delightful, and we just love you.
A gem.
Oh, it's always a pleasure. I love what you do, and I love how you act, and I love the people you surround yourself with.
Okay, guys. I need to be real with you for 1 second. I'm 41 years old. And do you know what's happened to me in the last 2 years? I always have shit stuck in my teeth. And that is a fact. I am turning into my mother. And so I asked my dentist, why is stuff always getting stuck in my teeth now? And my dentist said, well, as we age, our teeth shift. And maybe it's imperceptible, but you will notice it in the salads that you eat, and the pepper on your food will end up in these little things in between your teeth where your teeth have shifted. And I am so over it. And so you know what I'm going to do? I'm getting Candid. Candid is straightening my teeth. It's simpler, it's easier, and it's more comfortable than ever. They are clear aligners that are comfortable, removable, and practically invisible, unlike wire braces, obvi. I'm not doing that. I'm not like Gwen Stefani at the VMAs in 97. You can transform your smile without anyone noticing. Plus, your treatment is prescribed and monitored remotely by a licensed orthodontist who's an expert in tooth movement, and it's all done from the comfort and convenience of your own home. Candid only works with orthodontists, never general dentists like other companies. Plus, your supervising orthodontist will be with you every step of the way. She's going to be with we don't know who it is yet, but they're going to be with me every step of the way. The average Candid treatment is just 6 months. You're going to start seeing results way before then, and it costs much less, thousands less than braces. Here's what I'm going to say. I'm so looking forward to not having stuff stuck in my teeth. And I hope you join me. Start straightening your little teeth today. Right now, all my listeners can save $75 on Candid's starter kit. Go to candidco.com/best and use code BEST. That's candidco.com/best, code BEST. Take advantage of this limited time offer to save $75 on your starter kit. candidco.com/best, code BEST. It's very exciting. Guess what? Birdie got her new Function of Beauty box. It arrived, and she got a new flavor, peach.
Ooh.
And can I tell you how good my kid's hair smells? And I love it because it is formulated for her hair. And she's got really tricky hair that gets very knotty. But she took a quiz on Function of Beauty's website because it's hair care that's formulated specifically for you, no matter your hair type. They create the shampoo and conditioner and treatments that fit your unique needs. They have over 54 trillion possible ingredient combinations to make sure that your formula is as unique as you. We have 3 women in our home, all with varying hairs on our heads. The wonderful thing is that with Function of Beauty, the formulas are vegan and cruelty-free. There's no sulfates, parabens, or any other harmful ingredients, which is a thing that I really care about with my kids and myself. Cricket's allergic to One of them, sulfates, I think. I should probably find that out. I should probably write that down somewhere. And it's not just, Function of Beauty is not just the first ever custom hair care brand. It's the internet's top rated customized hair care brand. Top rated with over 40,000 real 5-star reviews and counting. So what are you guys waiting for? Go to functionofbeauty.com/best to take your 4-part hair profile quiz and save 20% on your first order. Shantira, now that you have hair, I think that this is what you got to do.
We're going to check it out. We're getting like peach.
We're getting you on the Function of Beauty train.
For the first time in 7 years, I got hair. We got to see what's going to happen.
You're going to do it. So go to functionofbeauty.com/best for 20% off and to let them know that you heard about it from our show. That's why you want to use that code BEST, BEST, functionofbeauty.com/best. Oh my gosh. I love him so much. Guys, did I get myself a job on his TV show? I would come out of acting retirement to star opposite Ron Funches.
That would be so cute.
Show.
I would come out of television watching retirement to watch it.
Great. Oh, speaking of which, hey guys, we don't know how podcasts work. So I think that what we need you to do is like subscribe and download. Over the weekend, I realized I wasn't even downloading my own podcast, and then I did, and so hopefully it'll count. But if you want us to keep doing this, and we want to keep doing this, but we need people to listen and subscribe. That's my understanding. That's my understanding of it. Here's another show, though.
We don't want to go into podcast retirement.
No, we don't want to. We decided that we like this, and we don't want to go into podcast retirement. Wait, you guys, I started watching the NXIVM documentary. I'm all caught up 3 episodes in. Are you guys watching it? It's
the documentary about the cult that you said you would never fall prey to.
Let me tell you something. I rescind. I think I was talking to Colin Hanks yesterday, who is, for those of you that don't know, one of my very, very closest friends. He and his wife are like dear, dear friends of ours. But Colin and I also dated when we were teens in college, and then we were both on teen dramas at the same time, dating, and then we broke up, and then we weren't friends for a while, and then now we are, and our children are best friends, and it's really cute. So I was talking to Colin, and I was like, dude, by the grace of God, did you and I not get a TV show in the mid-2000s in Vancouver, we would have been drawn into NXIVM. I would have been 150%. I would have been taken by it. And it was because at first, like so if you guys don't know, if you didn't hear about it, because it's only been like a year or two, right? That they got brought down like a year ago.
Yeah.
I think it was like late 2018, 2019.
18 months, yeah.
This is a cult that was operating out of Canada, based in Canada, that was like about, like the guy like based it around like math and about making your life better, I guess is all.
By the way, I would like to say they're ripping off 1,000 other cults.
100%. I mean, not to mention like, that's so crazy. And in the documentary at one point, he's like, I mean, it's crazy. I'm hearing people are comparing us to Scientology. That's like insane. They literally have the same words for
jargon.
things. It's like the same jargon. They use the same jargon.
It's 100% knockoff cult.
A lot of it is also like real therapy techniques to help people feel wanted.
Yes.
And if you need to go to therapy. If you don't go to therapy and like some nice man and the lady from Smallville tells you that they can make you feel better, I completely understand, especially when they're using like actual techniques rooted in therapy when people were actually trying to help people. But then at the end of that tunnel, instead of helping you, they brand you.
Well, so that's
they
what's
brand
so crazy.
you, and you got to have some type of sex, and
and guys,
and you have to be a servant.
I mean, I can't even. I'm so like, this documentary is so good. It's on HBO Max. There's only 3 episodes out so far. Apparently there's a podcast as well. But I have to say, I think because the guy who was the documentary filmmaker who was in the cult like documented everything. It's such a fascinating watch because they just have everything documented. So you just are watching it sort of like in real time go down. And like even his sort of break with the cult and with his wife, who's the first one who's like, something weird is happening. I really don't like this. She leaves. It's so fascinating. And yeah, I was very certain before watching that documentary when I was just hearing about it 2 years ago, like, ugh, how stupid, how insane. How are these people, how do they get like sucked into this stuff? And then just watching it, I was like, yeah, I can imagine if I was in my early 20s or at a point in my career where I was really lost and like somebody was like, come to this workshop with me. It's like kind of like Tony Robbins. It's just like a way to like make yourself, more motivated and feel better. Next thing you know, I'm branded in a sex cult. You know what I mean? I just like saw it so clear. I saw like an alternative version of my life so clearly if I had gotten the part on Smallville instead of Allison Mack because I tested for it. It could have been me. Although we haven't even gotten to like how she's like essentially how she started the sex cult part.
She's the mastermind. Yeah,
I mean, she married a girl who needed like a U.S.
Is it the girl from Battlestar Galactica?
I think so, but
I don't know. I haven't gotten to that part yet.
She like got married. This is just me reading up because I was a huge Smallville fan, and I was like, Chloe, no, Chloe, why'd you do this? So I was like reading it, and like she married this girl, and I was like, oh, okay, queer love. But she like married this girl so she wouldn't get deported, so she could keep her in the cult. And I was like, damn. It's really intense and it's super crazy. And I don't know if you guys are into all the three of us really are interested in watching at this point are documentaries and docuseries for whatever reason. Like, I May Destroy You as an exception. Like, although I'm having a hard time. I know everybody's finished it. I'm having a hard time finishing it because
it's hard. It's
really hard.
It's triggering and difficult for me to watch. And I have a really hard time with it. So I had to take a mental health break, even though I think it's like genius.
Everybody's
and
doing
I think
that. Everybody's taking a break. But that's why it's so good because it's so real.
When I'm watching something and I notice that I'm like picking up my phone and checking, like even though it's a really great show, if I start to check my Twitter or whatever while I'm supposed to be watching it, I know that it's making me uncomfortable and I need to like turn away
that's a
from
really
it.
good litmus test.
That is a litmus test. And you know what? I think you're right. Anyway, guys, I don't know why I brought that up. Oh, because we don't know how anything works. But
here's a little bit of advice. If anyone from any teen drama approaches you and says that they have the key to leading a better life, maybe just don't join anything they're asking you to join.
Except
it's okay to love. It's okay to love teen dramas. It's okay. But what
if it's me, Caissie? Yeah. And what if I'm asking you to join me on a business venture?
Then I probably would do it, obviously.
You did do it. You're in my cult. It is a cult that involves zero sex. So far with me. Like you don't, I mean, right. You and I don't. You don't have to have sex with me. And let's see, what else?
It's just the two of us.
Ice cream. I did eat a lot of ice cream last night.
Ice cream, nachos, just the two of us. Not super lucrative as cults go so far, but
listen, we have not made money in quite some time. Oh, which leads me to this, guys. I really want to get on this merch train. People are saying they would wear a sweatshirt. I think we need Move with Purpose, Shantira.
Yeah, I'm on board.
You guys,
I love a hoodie.
Okay, Shantira, a hoodie. Do you like a pullover or zip up? I like a pullover.
I don't like a zip up. I like a pullover.
Yeah, pullover.
Yeah. And then we need something about crying. Oh no, I might cry, or
oh no, am I going to cry?
Oh no,
I like. Oh no, am I going to cry?
That's real.
Oh no, am I going to cry? Oh no, am I going to cry? Okay. Oh no, I'm going to cry. Move with Purpose. Oh, I like success is what is it?
What success is just a moment.
Success is just a moment.
That was good.
Success.
Yeah, Caissie really made me go, ooh, okay.
What if we put that what if we made sweatpants with that down the side of the leg? Because then it's like,
for when you're motivating.
I'm very invested in sweatpants, sweatsuits right now, and the occasional clothing set from Instagram.
Did you see J-Lo's
two.
tie-dye sweatsuit? She was out and about in New York City this week. I've seen a lot of tie-dye sweat. J-Lo had a tie-dye sweatsuit out in New York on Labor Day.
I usually wear my tie-dye sweatshirt.
So much. I have so much tie-dye sweatsuits in this house right now. So many tie-dye sweatsuits.
So do I, but my point about J-Lo's is like I've seen a lot of tie-dye sweatsuit sets over the core, but this one was superior, of course.
Obviously.
Obviously.
But also, guys, if you have any ideas about our merch, things you'd like to see, I'd like to do biker shorts personally, because I'm really into a biker short moment. How about a biker short and my compression socks that go over the knee with a little something cute on them? Would that be a vibe? And a sweatshirt.
Yeah.
That's I just want to make stuff I want to wear. Sorry.
Yeah.
No,
that
that's
is
good.
a vibe.
That's good.
All right.
And
we'll make sure. I'm going to call Michael.
Yeah, let's look into it. We'll make sure it's size inclusive. And, you know, a beer can koozie always fits.
You want a beer can koozie. You want a beer can. You would love
I don't, but I do.
to put your kombucha in.
Yes.
If not a coaster, coasters also always fit.
What about a necklace? You know, I love necklaces.
Sometimes I worry that you're gonna be smothered under your necklaces.
I don't wear them at night when I sleep. I'm scared of that too.
I get worried.
I'm scared
if she lays down the weight of her very fashionable necklaces is gonna crush her windpipe.
It takes me 45 minutes to take off all my necklaces at night before I go to bed. True story. And now it takes me 45 minutes to take my vitamins and then 45 minutes to take off my necklaces.
No wonder.
By the way,
you don't
guys,
sleep.
I'm obsessed with this. I talked to that guy that Michelle got me in touch with. Also, happy birthday. You guys, it's Michelle's 40th birthday.
Happy birthday. We love you, Michelle.
Williams is 40 years old. How is that possible?
Happy birthday.
I can't. She's 20.
It's possible because she's not evil. And when you're not evil, you keep it tight. That is how. It's possible, baby.
My
She's
beautiful
a very
little
good person.
MW. I love you so much. Happy birthday, my love. Oh, I wish I could be with her. I was like, honestly, guys, this was where I went this weekend. I was like, is there a paid Instagram post I could do that would pay me enough money to hire a private plane to take me to New York, where she lives with her family in New York, and like surprise her for her birthday? And then I was like, how would that even work? Do I COVID test here? Do I have to quarantine when I get there? Did I need to do this 14 days ago? Like, I couldn't do the math. I hate this time. I wish that we could be with the people that we love. So instead, I'm just in my closet wishing my best friend happy birthday, as so many of us are. It's not relatable. But I did try to think, like, is there a way I can like hustle and make enough money? Or like, Kim Kardashian does like posts for those private planes. Can I just do that to get there? But it didn't. I didn't. I also just thought of it like on Saturday.
Private plane people, have your people call Busy's people.
Yeah.
That's what we do. That's how you work a podcast.
Guys, come on. Shantira and Caissie and I want to take this show on the road. And we want to do it from a private plane. JK. Okay. It's bad for the environment. Guys, don't at me about this run. I know, but I just was like, you know how it is? I'm sure so many people have missed milestones of their friends and family over the last 6 months. And I know that like everyone has these fantasies of like, oh no, I'm going to cry. Oh no, am I going to cry? Oh God. How can I make it easier? Like, how can I be with the people that I love? Is there any way to do it? You know?
Yeah.
And it's just such a fucking bummer that there's not. It just sucks. It really does. Because, my friend has a baby. When am I going to meet that fucking baby?
I know.
I don't know.
And we're about
like
to
not
go
on FaceTime, I mean.
Right. We're about to go Halloween, Thanksgiving, Hanukkah, Christmas, New Year, and we're all going to be right where we are thanks to like a motorcycle rally.
And fucking guys on the motorcycles keeping me from my best friend.
I would try to figure out a way to smell a baby's head right now. Okay?
Yeah.
Like, let's be serious. There's nothing better than sniffing the top of a newborn baby's head. I don't care if you don't even like children. You like that smell. Okay? So, like I said before, private plane people,
we are ready. We're ready to go.
We're ready to smell some babies.
We're ready to level up and fly to a baby.
All right, guys. should we do this or should we not? Did I waste too much time talking about
No,
shit?
it's okay. Let's
just
give
do
a
it.
little
Yeah.
advice. Yeah, let's do it.
Allison, hello. I am loving your podcast. This is from someone named Allison. That's why I said Allison first. Hello, I'm loving your podcast, the genuine conversations among friends we are, and the guests who are such badasses on multiple levels agree. I have been working in a job that I really like and do my best at. Hooray! And recently found out my coworkers who are at a similar skill level make significantly more money than me. Wah, wah. I was hired on at my current rate, and since then I've cheerfully taken on many more responsibilities, as we do as women, Allison.
Yeah.
I've never been good at asking for money, join the club, or advocating for myself, join the club. And I think I need to start being my own advocate. Yes, you do. And negotiating at a higher pay rate, 100%. What is your advice to women who are timid about this kind of thing? How can I ask and be effective and not apologetic for wanting to be paid what I'm worth? Allison, I love that this question is on my friend Michelle Williams' birthday. My friend who very publicly had to deal with finding out that she made $500 and Mark Wahlberg made $2 million for reshoots on a movie. Okay, Caissie, you probably have the best advice because you've worked in more tradish work settings than like say Shantira and I, who really are at the mercy most of the time of our agents.
I can tell you this as someone who's been a worker and someone who's kind of been like a boss. I have never set the rate for someone, but I can tell you that, you're working for a business. And the truth is that a business is going to try to employ you at the lowest rate possible because that's how they watch their bottom line. And so when we're getting jobs, it's on, the onus is on us to negotiate for the rate that we think we're worth. One thing that's generational and that I love, like when I was coming up, it was really, really, sort of verboten and tabooed for people in similar positions to discuss what they make, to share their salaries. That is not the case anymore. Millennials are, I've noticed, are really open about sharing what they make.
I tell everybody how much money I make. Yes. Everybody. And I ask, and I'll be like, what you made?
Which is such a great thing.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah. So that's such a great thing because we have so much more information, whereas in the past you might have been guessing or just trying to find out through some other means. But now people will just flat out say what they make, which is wonderful. And that's super generous, anyone that tells you and is willing to like give you that power. But then the onus, again, is kind of on you to go in and negotiate, whether you're just coming into a new job or whether you're trying to renegotiate your position there. Here's what I'll say. Nobody's good at it. Like if you're good at it, chances are you're probably kind of a dick. If you're, just...
I was going to say you're a psychopath.
Yeah, you're just swinging it around, trying to tell everybody what you're worth. Like, you all know somebody like that and they're not your favorite. So don't beat yourself up for not being great at it. I will say that it does just get easier. And I will say that it is just the kind of thing where you have to suck it up. And even if you have to write down what you want to say on a little index card before you go into whoever and say, listen, here are the facts. These people make this amount of money. This is what they do. This is the amount of money that I make. Here's what I do. I think that you can see that I'm valuable to this company and it doesn't make sense that I'm not making as much as or even more than these people. So what can we do about it? And then you really just need to, in my experience, kind of follow up and make sure, because I know that a lot of companies like to drag their feet and they like to say, okay, so in 3 months we can build you up to this place or 6 months or whatever. No, like it just, again, in my experience, if they can do it in 6 months, chances are they can probably do it now.
Let's do a little role play. Woo, fun. Okay, so I come in and I'm like, okay, hi. So, I really need to talk to you about this, about my salary, my rate, my salary. These are the things this is what we agreed upon when I took the job. I since have taken on these responsibilities. And now I've come to realize that these other people who do the very similar job to me are making so much more than I am. This feels unfair. I feel like I need to be compensated. And how can we work this out?
Yeah. So then that person's probably going to say like, oh, I see what you're saying.
But
The truth is, those people that are being paid more, well, they have more experience. And so, when we hired them, that's why we hired them at a higher rate. And, you're still learning. So even though you've taken a lot more responsibilities, you're still in like a training phase, in a growth
Okay, and then
phase.
I would say, thank you so much. Okay, bye. So what do I say? So instead, what do I say? Okay, Shantira, you jump in. What do I say?
I think that for me, what I've learned is that a deadline is important. So it'd be like, okay, great. I'm in a training period. When do you expect this training period to be over? When do you expect this training experience, or when do you believe that I will have learned enough to meet the expectations for the pay rate that I do believe I deserve? And if they don't have
wait,
number,
say that again, slower. What am I going to?
When do you think I will have? What was it? When do you think I will have met the expectations of the training period, so that I can meet the pay rate that I think I deserve? Because if they're saying
I deserve,
because if we're in training, if there is an explanation as to why, there is also an explanation as to how you can get more money, because they got
okay.
Then you just really need to ask for it in writing, and then you need to. So
that's the grown-up part. That's the grown-up part, Caissie.
Yeah,
that's the grown-up part.
Can you just shoot me an email? I'll shoot you an email summarizing what I think we
talked
about, and then you shoot me back a response saying that that you agree with everything that I've said, and then I will come back to you a little bit before this date that we've set, and we can
February
make sure that
2.
February 2. We can make sure that we're on track to make this happen. Because you obviously do have some value there. If you were valueless there, they wouldn't be trusting you with important jobs. And if they're trusting you with important jobs, that means that you're important and you deserve to be paid as such.
I've also found in jobs that we're trained, I genuinely believe, just as Americans, to think that giving us extra work means that the company likes us more.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, giving us extra work is a lot of times what they feel like they can get away with.
It means they need you to do it.
Yeah, I was just thinking about a line from the NXIVM documentary. But I was thinking about like in one of their like training sessions where Nippy says, my dad always, the expression squeaky wheel gets the grease. My dad always said, you know what else the squeaky wheel gets? Replaced. And I don't think that's true.
It might be true. Listen, I want to say, like, full disclosure, anytime you enter into any type of workplace negotiation where things are negotiable, there is a possibility that they're going to say no. There's a possibility you have to be ready.
Yes.
You have to be ready to walk away. And that's not to put fear into you. That's just to say, listen, if you work at a place and they don't value all of the extra work that you're doing, they don't value everything that you're bringing to the table,
right,
and they're willing to let you walk away, then, maybe it's not the right place for you.
And I have to say, like, I do think that there's a little bit of a disconnect, and Shantira, maybe you can correct me if I'm not right about this, between worker bees who are a little bit younger than Caissie and I in terms of expectations of like verbal affirmations.
Affirmations. Yeah.
Verbal affirmations of your job well done. Like in my experience as Gen Xer, the like affirmation that you're doing a good job is monetary. Like that's the agreement. And I have noticed, like with some of my friends who have real life office jobs and like who have now moved into more senior positions, they talk a lot about their younger employees or employees that are that report to them needing a lot of verbal affirmation. And to me, I'm like, guys, cut it with the fucking verbal affirmation. Just demand more money. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's your job well done. Like don't put I think that the trick, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I think that the trick is that so many people look to their jobs to be like the most fulfilling things in their lives. And it's just not. Like you can't expect to get everything from your job. And if you give everything to your job, like that's on you a little bit. Again, NXIVM documentary, you're at cause.
Your job should only be helping you fulfill the completeness of your life.
That's right.
It should be
you should definitely
you.
have a life outside of work, hopefully. I think for my generation, there were 0 jobs. And I think us getting any job is really hard to speak up for ourselves. When I worked at Banana Republic folding chinos for 3 years, I graduated college in 2008 and right in the middle of our first recession. We were in the middle of another one. So people who are millennials within the last 10 to 15 years, we've done 2 recessions. So what happened for my generation, for me, is I went to go fold clothes at Banana Republic, right? Everybody who worked there had crazy degrees. We had a girl from Cornell who had just gotten finished with Cornell, another girl who just gotten her MBA from Harvard, and then we were all folding clothes. And we were like, oh, we did the thing we were supposed to do and we didn't get a job. And most of my friends, and me included, I didn't get a full-time job for 6 to 8 years. Yeah. So all of those millennials are now what would usually be 15 years into a career are like 5 years in. We didn't even get to do that thing. So I think that is where we have that disconnect too of us being like, I don't ever want to go back.
Because there's like a pit of fear in your stomach about just this really tough circumstance. And that's the same now. You know, I know so many people that work in retail that are like physicists or whatever, you know. So it's just it's one of those things where, and you know, understanding that in this economy you got to do what you got to do, and sometimes that means it's a shitty job and you might not get a lot of satisfaction there, but you can always try. You can always try, and you know, knowing your worth doesn't just happen in the workplace, because sometimes you're doing work that you're like, I know I'm worth more than this. I know I'm capable of more than this. But knowing your worth is like a holistic thing about your whole life too.
Oh my God. Wait. Say it again.
Knowing your worth is a holistic thing about your entire life, not just what you do for a paycheck.
Yes.
Okay, guys, wait. That is everything. Especially, I'm talking to my people who are at home with their children, domestic, like working in your home. Knowing your worth is so important, because I feel like that is a thing that knowing your worth outside of like a place of business, outside of what you do, knowing your worth in your life is fucking everything. That's it, Caissie. We can end the show now. We actually, that's the whole tweet.
That's it.
We can go now. We can probably end the podcast. I think that was a great way to go out with a bang. Guys, we made it. We made it 5 episodes, and no, I'm kidding. We'll be back next week. Okay, guys, that's it. That's another. Allison, I hope we helped you with that thing, that
break legs,
letter,
bud.
that advice.
Break a leg. And if you need advice, please email us at busydoingherbest@gmail.com. Our group chats are happening this week. So
we're gonna. Sorry.
No, that's okay. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
If you wrote into us asking to be put in a group chat, that should be happening this week, and that's exciting. So we can't wait to
look
hear.
into your inbox.
Yay!
It's so exciting. You're getting mail. Cricket got a snail mail the other day from her friend in Charleston, and I'm going to start snail mailing people. It was real cute and real fun for her to get that letter. So
it's really cute.
So we're putting you in those group chats. Maybe you turn them into pen pals. I don't know what your life is. I don't know what's happening. Let's save the post office. This is Busy Phillips doing her best. I love you guys.
We love you.
See you next week.
Bye.
Talk to you next week. Bye. Oh no.